Sexting can be defined as the sharing of sexual images, text, or video through, for example, technologies such as the phone or various apps. For many people who engage in sexting, they don't encounter any difficulties. However, I think something that adolescents maybe aren't aware of, because they are digital natives, that cliche, they've grown up with technology. And parents, for the most part, can be digital tourists. So that they don't see a danger to sharing. Be the parent that the child wants to tell things to. So to develop or to be seen to be really, really interested in what your child is telling you, then they're going to open up, they're going to tell you more. And also to be an askable parent, right? To be a parent that a child feels confident that they can ask a question of if they're unsure, and that obviously as parents, our children trust us. And so for them to feel like if they have an issue or if they have something that they're upset about or they're concerned about, that they can tell us or they can ask us. And that's a challenge for us as parents, is to be both tellable and askable. They send something to a friend, to somebody that they trust. They don't consider that this may be circulated and widely circulated, and what are the consequences if and when that happens. What happens when this person you trust, if that relationship breaks down? We don't tend to think about the what ifs. What happens if that person whom we trust shares the image that we've shared with them? There are consequences that people don't tend to think about or tend to consider when they press send. Regardless of how benign the pressure may seem, they're still under pressure to send this. And instilling in them a confidence and an ability to say no, because saying no is a life skill, and it's a skill a lot of adults haven't developed themselves. So I think for parents, encouraging our children to be confident and to be self-aware enough to know what they want and also what they don't want. Understanding effectively the concept of consent. This isn't a one-off conversation, and I think that's important for us as well, is that it's not like, when it comes to the birds and the bees, the talk, that this is something that we weave into conversation. And a way that I think is really useful to do that is to use something in the media. Okay, so that it becomes like a third party that you're talking about, that you're not talking about them or you're not talking about yourself, that you're using a third party to open the conversation with your child. I think that's important.